All right, we're back. We're doing a end of season here. We've passed the trade deadline, and we're just simming quite a bit at the last month of the year. I wanted to just do a quick update before the draft. I wanted to show all the final trades I ended up making and just review the team. I've taken about a week or two off, so it's a nice little break. I'm kind of motivated to play again. As you can see, we're still really good. It's just because the East is so bad this year. North Bay is not even that good, and they got like 44 wins already. But oh, nice. My guy got a hat trick. Big. So yeah, what we're doing here is we're just kind of rebuilding here. We hardly have any older guys. We sold off all our good 19-8-year-olds and OAs and stuff, and then we just got Guptill back, nice guy from last year who's playing college ball somewhere, and then we got the new 19-year-olds that will be back next season as overagers. We traded for Huddle, who's actually really Halton. Very, very nice player. We might consider getting him back as an OA, but definitely Stewart would be one of the OAs, a really good defenseman. He's going to be a wicked point producer there on the left side with a high offense. And then, yeah, stud will be Miranda, who'll be in the nice OA. He's got a pretty good season so far. He's got 66 points. And I'm really liking the progression from Holloway. He was a sixth round pick. He's really come along nicely. He's a pretty good skater. And he's got some nice offensive and defensive balance there between his ratings. And yeah, the young defensemen have all kind of stepped it up a little bit. As you can see, the ages on the defensemen were pretty young there. Ballston's got his first action here halfway through the year. He got called up and he's playing pretty well. And then we got Paquette's having a big year. Shepard's growing an inch, and he's got a really nice ratings across the board. He's actually surpassed. Rusk was an early second round pick, and Shepard wasn't picked till the fourth round last year. But Shepard's actually quite a bit better at this point in the rating scale than Rusk, even though Rusk is pretty solid too. He just hasn't progressed too much, and he's actually only like a 7 rated at the highest, and he's well behind Shepard's. I think Shepard's got double-digit ratings and a couple categories. So yeah, Shepard's really come along. Has always had some high floor potential ratings in certain categories, like shot blocking is like super good and stuff. So yeah, he's actually looking really solid. I'm really excited for those two guys in the next couple of years. Nice to draft defenseman high and kind of see the defenseman round out, be like 13, 14, 15 rated. I was missing that for a lot of years. There was too many years there at the start. I had too many guys in the top 4 that were 10 and 11 rated. When I really needed to win championships, I think you needed more 13, 14 rated defensemen or better. So that's a big change I've made in the last few years. I drafted a lot of defensemen in the second round. In the last 4 or 5 drafts, I think I've gotten about 3 or 4 second round defensemen, and they've all turned out pretty solid. So yeah, that was a big couple months for me. That's probably the most trades I've ever made in a season. And the other big thing I want to talk about is I moved Beaver and Widmer to center. Those are my last 2 first round pick wingers, 17, 16 years old. And I figured if we're just kind of rebuilding here and trade away all our older guys, might as well teach them center, because they're going to be the guys that are going to be around 3-4 years when we have that really young team. Widmer will probably be around for his overage season because he's not a great skater. I don't think he'll get drafted very high. He's only 10 speed. So those are 2 guys I think as 20 and 19-year-olds they can be really, really good centers, even though they're more natural wingers. It's just their defense is so good, Beavers especially, that I think it'd be really cool to have him as a center that 20-year-old season when all these young guys we're going to draft this season will be 18, and then Widmer will be the key there because he'll only be a year older than those guys. So we have 4 second round picks this draft. So Widmer will be a really nice 20-year-old center, I think, that season, if we can teach him center this year. So he's only played there for a couple weeks, and he's already gone from 10 to 12, which is the lower it is, the harder it is to go up. So once you get to 15, 16, it goes up pretty quick. So all we need him to do is get to about 14 by the end of the season, and then in the training camp, I think he can get right up to 15, 16, and then next year get up to a 20. So that'll be kind of the plan with those 2 guys. And then that'll be crazy because then Beaver can play both wing spots too, so he'll just be a weapon all over on the power play. We can move him around. And same with Widmer. I taught him just this season alone. He's 16 years old, first round pick, and I've already taught him fully on both wings. I spent the whole season until January teaching him the one wing, and he already got to 20. Pretty smart player. And so now that'll be crazy. And at the end of the season, he could almost learn 2 new positions. So next year will be all about center for him, I think. And yeah, and then we moved Blackbird to teach him a little bit of wing, just because I figured might as well move everybody around if we're going to move a couple guys around. We're kind of not really in a position, I don't think, to go too far in the playoffs this season, trading away our top 5 or 6 players. even though we're pretty solid still. We kept a couple really good 18-year-olds. Dodson's having a really nice season too. I was considering teaching him center, but I figured he was a bit old. Might as well do it with the younger guys. And yeah, just want to go over McLeod one more time. I really like McLeod as a defensive specialist. The OSA has got him all the way up to a 5-star potential, as you can see, which is crazy. Even though that seems a little bit off because his draft rating is only saying he's like a 7th-round pick. So I guess he's not that great. But I didn't show his ratings, but I just love his ratings. His 15 defensive read with his really good skating and 6 foot, 190-pound frame is really exciting to have as a shutdown defender. So having him as a shadow, as a 14, 13 rated in those defensive forward categories, so cool because he can be a second liner and he can just be the pure shutdown guy in all the penalty kills, and then just be a guy that plays 7 minutes on the second line. Probably won't be able to play power play on top of that just because there'll be so many minutes. But Miranda will be the same position, right wing, and he'll be the guy that'll win the first line power play and all that. So I think it'll be a really cool punch to have Miranda as the goal scorer and the power play guy, and McLeod as the second line. Really good, like 14 rated winger next season, and have him on all the shutdown penalty units. And he's going to be a really, really good player when he's 20 because he'll be around for 2 more years. So I think he's just going to be an absolute beast from now until the end of his OHL career. So I'm just excited about a few of our players for sure. Lisak's having a nice year. Our really nice foreign 18-year-old. He was first-round import pick. And then played 1 more year in Europe after the draft. And then this is first year in North America as an 18-year-old. He's having a point-a-game season and having a few really big games. He had a hat trick a couple times. And I just love his skill set also. There's a lot of guys I've handpicked on this team because they're good skating, and I just liked his agility, and he had some really good puck handling skills and good size. I think he was only about 5'11", 180 when we drafted him, so he's progressed quite a bit size-wise too, which is kind of awesome to see. So yeah, that'll be it. I'll listen to the rest of the year, and we'll make another episode for the draft. We have a ton of picks coming up. I'm super excited, so we'll just get through, hopefully get a first-round playoff win if we can, because the East is pretty weak this year, so we'll see what we can do in the playoffs, and then do an update for the draft. See you then.